Friday, August 11th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So this is an early market update, and I also want to cover North Korea and what's going on there and what is, in my opinion, going on there in terms of the reasons behind this crisis and why now. So first of all, I want to talk about a little bit about what happened yesterday with the stock market. The Dow, of course, dropped 204 points, 204.69, or 0.93%. So the Dow didn't even drop 1%. But yeah, the S&P dropped a bit more. S&P dropped 36 points, 35.81 to be exact. That was down 1.45%. So is this the beginning of the crash everyone's been calling? You know, all the alternative media, the big hedge fund managers. I don't know. That's the thing about the markets we've had since 2009. We've had this bull market in the stock market. It's always been buy the dip, buy the dip. So this could very well be another one of those incidents. But before I go further with the what we're doing this morning in the markets, let's have a look at some charts. So I've done a couple of charts. This is the daily chart on the Dow going back to the beginning of the year. And as you can see there, on when was it? Tuesday, we almost had kind of an outside day. We made a high at 22,179. We closed at 22.85, and compared to the previous day, we closed below the previous day's close. So it was a down day. So that could have been like a red flag there. That's an outside day, negative day. And you can see now it doesn't look very good going back to the beginning of the year. We haven't seen too many moves like we have in the last 3 days. So that is a little bit of a concern. But then you look at the weekly chart going back, let's say, to 2010. You can see that what we've done this week is a little blip. So it's still early days. That's what I'm trying to say. S&P, same chart. This is a daily chart here. Doesn't look very good either compared to what we've seen since the beginning of the year. On a weekly basis, S&P, as you can see here, I've gone back only a couple of years, not to 2010. Yeah, it doesn't look very good on a weekly basis, but it's still early days. We have to see what happens today as well. And with that, I'm going to go and check what we're doing in the markets. It's 9:30 a.m. London, by the way. So spot gold, which is doing quite well the last few days, is at 1287.80, up $1.60. The high so far today has been 1289 overnight, and the low has been 1284. We're very close to that 1295 level. That is the key level. I think if we break that, we'll go straight to 1300. If we can close above 1300 this week, that will be very positive. Silver yesterday got up to around 1725, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, silver is 1713, up a cent and a half. Range has been 17. The low has been 17, and the high 1721. The Dow. What are we doing in the Dow? Well, the Dow's down right now, 21,825, down 25 points. We're right near the overnight lows, the Dow futures. S&P is down 4.5 points, 2434. So yeah, stock market continuing to trade lower. Currencies, the pound is down slightly, 129.70, down 7 pips. Euro, 117.55, down about 16. So the dollar is a little stronger against the European currencies, but the dollar is weaker against the yen here. We're at 109.01, so down 20 pips. The low has been 108.90, very close to that 108.88 level I talked about the other day. So Yeah, dollar under pressure against the yen. FTSE 100 in the UK down 80 points, or down 1%. We're at 73.03, so losing quite a bit of ground. European stocks. The DAX in Germany is down 60 points, or 0.5%. What's oil doing? Oil is down as well, 48.20. So oil is having a tough time breaking through that 50 level at the moment. Copper, which I've spoken about recently, is down this morning, down 33 cents, actually down 0.15 of copper is down a cent 83, almost down 2 cents. Sorry, copper. I get confused with the prices. Yeah, copper is down 1.9 cents, or 0.2% at 2.89. So copper hasn't been able to break through that 3 level either. So what do I want to talk about North Korea? Well, there's an interesting article in Asia Times. It's atimes.com, and I'll put the link to it below in the description. And it's by an analyst, a pretty well-known analyst in the alternative media. He writes for Asia Times. His name is Pepe Escobar. And the title of the article is North Korea, Fire, Fury, and Fear. And he says, and I'm quoting this, alarm bells ringing as rampant speculation breaks out over Pyongyang's possible miniaturized nuclear warheads. So he goes on to say, beware the dogs of war. The same intel folks who brought to you babies pulled from incubators by evil Iraqis, as well as non-existent weapons of mass destruction, are now peddling the notion that North Korea has produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead able to fit its recently tested ICBM. That's the core of an analysis completed in July by the Defense Intelligence Agency. Additionally, U.S. intel believes that Pyongyang, that's the capital of North Korea, by the way, now has access to up to 60 nuclear weapons. On the ground, U.S. intel on North Korea is virtually non-existent, so these assessments amount to guesswork at best. But when we couple the guesswork with an annual 500-page white paper released earlier this week by the Japanese Defense Ministry, alarm bells start ringing. The white paper stresses Pyongyang's significant headway in the nuclear race, and it's possible. He puts it in italics, and he says mine, italics mine, possible ability to develop miniaturized nuclear warheads able to fit the tips of its missile. And he goes on to say this possible ability is drowned in outright speculation, as the report states. It is conceivable that North Korea's nuclear weapons program has already considerably advanced, and it's possible that North Korea has already achieved the miniaturization of nuclear bombs into warheads and has acquired nuclear warheads. And he goes on to say, so let's look at the agendas in play. The war party in the US, with its myriad connections in the industrial military media complex, obviously wants / needs war to keep the machine oiled. Tokyo, for its parts, would much appreciate a preemptive U.S. military strike, and damn the inevitable massive South Korea casualties that would result from Pyongyang's counterpunch. So there's a few actors in this, the U.S., as he calls the war party. There's the Japanese, who want to also consider China belligerent because of its actions in the South China Sea, China being an ally of North Korea. And then, he talks about false flags, don't be surprised. And I agree with him 100%. Even Ron Paul, I think the other day, made a comment to the same effect. People who believe in this are deluded. So why is Trump coming out and making these bombastic statements, fire and fury? Well, he's been pushed, I think, by this war party, this war machine. He's also supposedly, you look at the polls from the mainstream media or the fake news, he's lagging behind a lot, even though he thinks his support base is increasing. So I don't know. I think this war party or the deep state, they're playing him quite well, you know, because they're saying, look at this threat, North Korea, you know, it's going to benefit both the deep state or the war party and Donald Trump. Why would it benefit Donald Trump? Well, because there's, whenever there's a war, the president is always supported almost 100% by the entire public. So this could be a way of Trump solidifying his support, even getting the people who hate him right now, you know, to support him. And it helps also the war party, as Pepe Escobar says. So both people win, except, you know, the people who get killed in the war. So that's what I think is going on in North Korea. I don't really think, you know, all these talks about North Korea being able to use nuclear warheads, these are all speculation, and it's all based on possible. So that's the way I stand there. You know, you're probably not surprised because I'm the home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I don't buy into everything, and even though President Trump has, you know, pissed off the deep state, he's not stupid. He can also use them, and they can use him. So that's how I see North Korea. We'll have to wait and see what happens if this crisis abates or not, or gets worse. So as I leave here, we are at 1288.50 in gold, silver 1715, Dow futures down 26, S&P down 5. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and also follow me on steemit.com, STEEMIT.com. It's a social media platform based on the blockchain, and they've also got their own currency. I'll talk to you later. Bye.